Not your typical DC tour.
People always talk about how like cities are dying. People want to leave American cities and all that stuff. Crime. Common saying in the city is don't cross the bridge.
They need to clean I don't have no door on my door.
And you moved in one of these houses?
Yeah. $300.
A lot of people in high places forgot about.
The neighborhood changed just like that.
Right, half mile.
Peak elite DC. Why was I able to live there and eventually make the jump there?
This is about as American as it gets. A giant phallus in the middle of the city.
Yes. Here's a little flaw in the system.
Oh, there it is.
You can drink on campus here, huh?
This is a conservative Catholic institution right here for you.
The people working here just don't understand the people out there. Good morning, guys. Here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., a place where most of us know what Capitol Hill and the mall looks like. But did you know, just a far stone's throw away is the hood. And on the other side of that beautiful heartbeat of government is the rich hood. So that's what we're gonna do today. Get in with a local who said, Peter, I can show you both sides of the tracks in DC. I've lived in both. Give you a very unique perspective on what the city is all about. Let's do this.
We are crossing the bridge right now, and the common saying in the city is don't cross the bridge. Now you will slowly see as deeper as you get, the neighborhood changing. Since I used to live in a food desert and there was no groceries and I eat a lot of food, but I don't like fast food. So if I wanted actual food, I had to cross the bridge this way, get some actual food, go back
so you're saying
again.
there's no good food over here?
I mean, there are like fast food stores.
We're literally talking 5 minutes away from Capitol Hill.
Food deserts is real.
And food deserts are real.
Food desert's real.
It's not like a joke. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing, yeah.
You're from Ethiopia, sir. Do you have food deserts in Addis Ababa?
No.
No?
No.
Wow. Take care, sir.
Care. Be safe.
All right, Sagnik, so the name of this neighborhood
Is Anacostia.
Anacostia.
Yeah. The city is divided into 4 quadrants, and this is the southeast quadrant.
Okay, so little backstory. Originally from India, you lived in the UK, then you came to the States and ended up in this
Neighborhood.
right?
So the story goes, when I was in London, I was finishing grad school, I didn't have any money, and I had 2 options. One was to take a job in London for 50,000 quid, subtitling videos, and the other option was to move to DC, get an internship, start from nothing, and build a business or do whatever I want. But I believed in the US. It was always my life's mission to come here and like build a business, build companies here. So I went with the latter. But since I didn't have any money, this is where you move.
And you moved in one of these houses?
Yeah. I got off the airport. This was my first time getting to America. It looked super ritzy. The Uber took me through the main part of the city. You saw the Capitol, you saw the White House, you saw the Memorial, everything looks glitzy. And as soon as we crossed the river, still in the city, it slowly started changing. I saw people like just like shooting themselves with syringes in the bus stops, and I was like, am I still in DC? Like, because it doesn't feel like it anymore, but I was still in DC, and eventually I realized that this is gonna be my home until I can afford something better. So this was like an Airbnb-esque. A bunch of people lived here, no one spoke a word of English. People shared beds, bathrooms, and all that stuff. I paid around like $300 for 2 months. That was my first payment. I don't remember how much I paid afterwards, but I lived there for about 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
And then eventually I started getting my life together, and then we moved to different places, which I can show you afterwards.
Yep.
But this is where it all started. Anacostia, to this day, is considered a neighborhood where you shouldn't come if you're living in the main parts of DC.
So you say that, and as an outsider, I look down these streets.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look bad at all.
Yeah, it's because like these areas are like still getting a lot of like residential development money coming in.
Okay, we can walk down here.
Because like developers are still moving in here and realizing the potential, but at the same time, since it's Anacostia, it doesn't get as much policing and like it doesn't get taken care of as the areas where all the tourists are.
Okay,
right?
what's crime doing right now in DC?
So the thing with crime in DC was DC followed the spike of all the major metropolitan cities
Okay.
during COVID. But after COVID, DC was the only place where crime stayed upwards. And the biggest driver of DC's crime is homicide and carjacking, which is like kind of hard to grasp because like as of now, if you look around, it looks pretty residential.
Right. Okay, so before this was old working class neighborhood, right?
So DC's biggest economy are the federal jobs, obviously, and media. That's the biggest circle of people where I lived, actually.
yeah.
Here are the working class people who are like running the city, basically.
Okay.
Like doing the jobs of like, I don't know, like they work at McDonald's, they're driving the bus, they're driving the metro.
What does a place like this go for, do you think, or one of these townhouses?
I mean, look at it, like from the outside, it's a good house.
Looks great, yeah.
Right? But like
Bricks.
just because of the area, I don't think it's gonna cross like 3.
Okay. I'm staying in Georgetown.
Yeah.
It's interesting, there are more American flags here than Georgetown.
That's funny because like I lived in Georgetown for 4 years, and Georgetown's population is usually like rich retirees, and every next flag is a Ukraine flag, or this house, we don't tolerate racism flags. And so like if an alien came down, they wouldn't know which country it is. Thank you.
That's a tight edge. Nice work, man.
Yeah, man, thank you, man.
As a kid who had a lawn mowing business, I can see the detail going on there.
Yeah, man, like these are the people who keep the city running.
I'm making a video of him. He used to live here.
Okay, right.
How's the neighborhood lately?
Still the biggest street.
Still busy?
Yeah, no, well, I had no accidents right here in a long, long time. That's good. That's a good thing.
That's what you want. What do you got going with your binder?
Vitamin E's and patient's rights and little something. My name is Christina Ballinger. I'm your president and all of this.
Patience, right? I'm making a video. You okay with that?
Okay, yeah.
Cool. What do you got here?
You rolling it now?
I'm rolling.
Okay, you rolling that now.
Picture me rolling.
Okay.
Whose lyrics are those?
Tupac.
Boom. No EBT here. Why is
Oh,
that,
no.
do you think?
The food stand.
Oh yeah, they don't.
Clear fruit, you think that's healthy?
Yeah.
It's probably sugar. Let me see it.
No, it's water. It's fruit. It's purple.
Sugar's
Sugar, it's like
57 grams.
57
Look at this manipulative marketing. Look at that. Clear fruit.
It's clear fruit.
I'm sorry, that's junk. Let's get something better. They make it look good.
Go get a
Look at that.
chocolate.
114% sugar for the day.
That's enough
okay.
sugar for like 2 days.
No, I mean, you're in good shape, but Sag,
What's up?
what you're saying is so true. There's literally nothing you can get healthy in
No.
here.
And
What do you got here? Let me see this.
again,
Skittles?
Skittles. It's literally candy on water.
I'm getting that.
31 grams of sugar. Not to be the diet police, but all right, let's do
You
it. Let's
did
do
the
it.
diet police.
Take care. Good luck. Okay, point-driven home. You go in a store like that, and what are you gonna get other than water?
And yeah, like
That's-
that was one of my biggest culture shocks. Like I don't know, like I went to school, I know what countries are, I know how things work, people work, but when you come to, like you're coming to America for the first time,
Right.
and then you move into whatever area, you're still kind of agnostic about whatever life means, and then what's the first thing someone needs in the Maslow's hierarchy? Food, right? What kind of food is good for you? I don't know, like home-cooked chicken, rice, beef, potatoes. I'm not asking for like a steak or anything, just like the basic stuff. And I couldn't get it anywhere here. I had to get on one of these buses to get my groceries done because all the options here are these. Again, I'm not putting anything down. I love pizzas too.
Yeah.
I love good fried food here and there too.
Yeah.
But like when I'm doing my groceries for the week, I need food. And that's what
Right.
I didn't know that food desert was a thing in the country with the highest GDP ever.
Yeah.
So
I
that kind of caught me off guard. So now you're getting into, now you're with the grocery store, you're getting into the classic gentrification argument. So the argument is like if you start a Trader Joe's or a Whole Foods in an area like this, people are gonna push back because they would think that it's a telltale sign of, there's no other way to put it, white people moving into their community.
Right.
Like what I am, we are called yuppies, young, upwardly mobile professionals.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. I didn't even know that acronym.
Yeah, it's called yuppies.
I know what yuppies are, but I never even thought it through like that.
And when yuppies move into a city or a particular neighborhood, everyone gets all threatened because it's like, oh, they're going to drive the prices up.
Yeah,
which happens.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, which happens. So like, how do you balance this out? Because like, you need those people coming in to quote unquote drive the economy, but at the same time, if that is coming at the cost of, you know, the local communities which have been living here forever, being displaced, then it's not an ideal situation. Like, look around, like, these are the people who have been living here forever.
Yeah.
And I am like, even though I came here with no money, I still, you know, like, I have a job, I was doing something here, I was getting after something.
Okay, some of these people are living off EBT cards and welfare.
Yeah.
Some are working hard. There's a mixed bag, right?
Correct, yeah. Like,
Fair to say?
just like every group of people. It's a mixed bag.
We're gonna go down here, bus stop.
This is the bus stop where I
What's
came
up, guys?
back in.
How you doing?
You ain't the police.
I'm not the police.
He got plenty of numbers.
Give me a rundown of what y'all doing.
We're making a video on DC. So from Anacostia to the political nerve center, that being Capitol Hill, to Georgetown, showing that there are many different universes in one place.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like that.
What about Anacostia? Tell us what's going on.
Anacostia, they need to clean it up.
Okay.
They need to clean I don't have no door on my door. I have no foot, I have no door. I've been living like that for almost damn near 2 years.
On your apartment or what?
Yes, on my apartment. I'm about to give you everything.
Anacostia area.
And I stay in the Anacostia area.
Okay.
This is how I'm living. See the trash out there?
You want to turn this around so the sun's not
This
up?
is how I'm living.
Yeah.
You see this?
I can barely see it. So why aren't you cleaning it up though? You can clean that up, right?
Listen, sir, it's a place. Just look.
Yeah. I couldn't
Clean
see.
it up. But
Cutie
the
girl.
shit keep leaking.
Oh, okay. So
You
you're
see my door? This my front door.
so when you're in your apartment,
Look,
it's
look at
leaking.
this.
Okay.
This is my front door.
I can sort of see, but it's broken. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, it's
okay.
broken.
All right, ma'am.
No, because I got a dumber car I don't use, got $15 on it, okay?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I got no cash on me. Take care, ladies. All the best. God bless. Let's go this way, Sag, and then back.
If you're gonna go to the city, that's the bus stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. Go ahead. Sorry, we're making a video of him.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're styling, sir. You're styling.
Yeah,
I am
he should be on camera, not me. Look at him.
Nobody. Wait a minute. Now, whoa, now.
I'm making a video of him.
That's nice, young man. Do your thing, young man. We're proud of you because we need more people in terms of broadcasting and on top of television.
I used to live here, so yeah.
Okay, sir. What do you want to broadcast from Anacostia? Let us know.
Oh, wait a minute.
What do you want to say?
If I broadcast, I will broadcast. Look, I do a documentary that actually shows, I hate to say the ghetto, but I am going to actually say humble beginnings. I'm actually going to say where, you know, a lot of people in high places forgot about. But okay, see, I'm black, I shouldn't be talking like this. See, I'm supposed to be selling you some drugs and trying to shoot you, but no. I like to go in front of police officers. Wait a minute, let me get this right. You black with no criminal record? Yeah, everybody black is not an enemy, y'all. Everybody black is not a menace to society. Here you go. Hey, take it with you. Matter of fact, I'm telling you what you're gonna do. Like on the movies, you know, on the base. Y'all gonna do that move and go right there. Central is right downtown. There you go. Subject has no problems. We tried this. You let a pair of sneakers and my hat to the side.
Right.
Stop that. Bad things happen to good people. And I'm just saying that instead of judging, why don't we just figure out, like you guys are doing now, figure out what's going on, like you're talking to me now. Everybody's not your enemy. Now, if this is now about 4 or 5 years ago, you talking to me, oh no, he probably gonna rob me. And not at all. Get it down on you. I don't want my freedom jacked up no more than you do.
Yeah.
Now I'm black, we say that. Now we made our mistakes. Yes, we did. You know, that you can't keep nothing around them black people. That's not always true. We've lived up to a lot of stereotypes, but that's not completely all the way true.
Yep. Got you, sir.
Which good time.
Young man,
Take care.
Congrats to you. Absolutely.
See, like, the people are nice. Like, people are nice. Like here's the thing. Like, anytime we talk about people, community, never come down upon like individual people or any groups of people because like you never know what they've been through.
Oh yeah.
Because you don't know their circumstances. Like it's like such a case by case basis argument. And like when I came here, I had no clue. Like Black America, White America. Like I was just here to get my own.
Right. And for those outside of these areas, I also want to state there's not one white America, there's not one Black America.
Correct.
There are many different, there are areas in Appalachia where 50% of the towns, people are facing the dirt on drums.
Correct,
right
and they're
now.
white as hell.
And they're white as they come. And then there are professional blacks here, and obviously people know that live in DC.
Yeah, and they run the
But a
system.
foreigner from India,
Yeah.
like you, when
Yeah.
you were younger watching this video, would think, oh, all people are like this, all people
Are the
are
same,
like that. Yeah. It's a nice positive sign.
Yeah, we need places like this, because like DC has the highest truancy rate, like kids don't have anything to do.
Truancy rate, you mean kids not showing up at school?
Yeah. If you're not affluent, if the parents aren't affluent, the kids don't have anything to do, and we need more places like these where kids can actually be socialized properly, so they're not like involved in
Right.
like activities or whatever. That's the Redskins. You can't say that anymore.
What do you have what's going on here, sir?
Hey, we got the ices out here. We got $3 cups, $2 cups.
You got a juice business and a
Yeah, we got what do you call icy ice cones, freeze cups, snowballs. We had that on play right here every day from 6 to 9. Call the street, that's my business there too. Called the best wars in town, BWYT. We've been right there for three years now.
How's business these days?
Business is fair, you know, it's fair. Right now, a lot of people don't like to come out. They want to stay in now. So
What do you mean stay in?
as far as the streets is bad now, you know what I'm saying? People scared the streets now, so hopefully
Being right here?
yeah. Hopefully we can get people back out to come and support our businesses.
You say the streets are bad, but as I walked around, things look pretty good, but I'm not reading it right, or what?
Well, come with the time, you know what I'm saying, things right now, how the younger generations now, they're just, you know, making it hard for people just to enjoy basic life things, you know.
There's more violence than 5 years ago?
It's way more violent than 5 years ago, you know what I mean? We did have a little break before the pandemic, everything was going good, then after the pandemic, I don't know what happened. People had a little more time to think of a lot of bad things to do.
What do you think about Capitol Hill being right over that bridge?
I think it's great. I love my city. I was born and raised right here in Washington, D.C. I'm a Washingtonian. I mean, it's great, you know what I mean, to have politicians and people who's supposed to see what's going on here. Hopefully they would, you know, ride through sometime and really see it too, you know what I mean? But it's cool having them there, you know, as long as they come and show support.
Are they showing any support these days, do you feel?
Nah. They even scared than us. They more scared than us to come outside now, you know.
They're more scared than you to come outside?
They way scared now. I think as the world been, you know, things going on out here now, you know, it's, you know, politicians got a lot on their table right now, you know.
Yeah.
The good ones and the bad ones.
Should I be scared as an outsider to walk around these streets, or not really?
Nah, no one should be scared of nothing. I mean, if anything's gonna happen to you, it's gonna happen. If they, you know, God forbid nothing to happen to no one, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, who's to say we here today, gone tomorrow, you know? So, you know, you gotta still live life, you know what I mean? Be happy, smile, you know what I'm saying? You get what you put out, you know what I mean? You get the positive energy, you get positive energy back, you know what I'm saying? So, never be scared of never be scared to live, you know what I mean? Never be scared to live. That's one thing you can't be scared of, just live.
Look at that thing. Yeah. This is the bus stop I used to wait at.
Let's do it. Let's take the bus. Let's do your old commute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
How you doing? So I'm not pointing the camera on you. We have a very nice lady originally from Ethiopia, very well-spoken, charismatic. She works in education over here, so there's some great programs going on. Commutes from Virginia to Anacostia and then back. Did I get that right? Okay.
So we
cool.
just crossed the bridge right now. Now you
Okay.
will see the neighborhoods changing. You're still technically in the southeast, but you're no longer in Anacostia. You see one stop away, the neighborhood just changed just like that.
Right, half mile.
Yeah. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Nice to meet you.
And what did the real estate just double in value?
Like triple.
Tripled, okay.
Like there's a Bank of America right there. There's a nice little diner situation right there. The first time I made the trip and I was like, what the hell?
So you didn't have these drastic changes in London?
Okay, so here's the thing. It's not like poor neighborhoods, rich neighborhoods is the unique in DC or America. It's all over the world, right?
Yeah, of course.
But how we approach it from like development, real estate, education, redevelopment, that's where all the debate lies. So like in London, London itself is all about the yuppies, right? It's being driven by all the European people who are moving in there, working in finance, media, tech, all that stuff. If you want to see the rural England, you have to go out of London.
Yeah.
Right? You have like working class population living in Liverpool, Manchester.
Okay.
That's unique about DC. Like DC itself is a big city, but it's divided into people like me, my colleagues, and then what we just saw.
Yeah.
And the unique thing about America, which doesn't get talked about enough, is that there is mobility within economic classes, which, like, here's the thing. Why was I able to live there and at the same time eventually make the jump there?
You have the education, the drive, the skills, work ethic.
Correct. And if you have those things and if you're starting from ground zero, it's a lot easier to do that in America compared to anywhere else. Why is it harder for those people to do it than it was for me? It's because they have to unlearn years worth of things that they have grown up with. Like, they have had the baggage of, I don't know, like Jim Crow, redlining, and all that stuff. I came here with no money, but at the same time, I didn't have to deal with all that negative baggage, right? But at the same time, if you're coming here from zero, this is the place to do it.
Right. And there are many that have gone from that hood
To here,
this
yeah,
hood,
yeah,
right?
totally.
Like, they've made it. It's very complicated because I've spent a lot of time in inner city America. And so if someone, let's just give an example, one example. You're outside the projects, 12 o'clock midday on a Tuesday, and someone's drunk and gambling with their buddies. If you give them more resources, it's just more drinking.
It's gonna fuel the fire.
And nicer cars.
Yeah, it's gonna fuel the fire.
So how do you get out of those cycles?
Yeah, the cycle.
Because if you're in the cycle, you can put whatever you want at it, and nothing's really going to change,
Correct.
right?
And it's almost cliche to say that, but the only thing which breaks the cycle is education. My parents didn't have a lot of money, but what they had was education.
And the Indians do not mess around.
We
with
don't mess
education.
around with education. No,
I
we
mean,
don't.
Tiger Mom is a Chinese, Taiwanese saying, right? But I think it should come from India.
Yeah, the helicopter mom. Like,
You had the helicopter,
Yeah,
okay.
like she won't leave you alone until you get your homework done.
Okay. And Indians, by the numbers, thrive in this country.
Yeah, we are the rich. I'm not flexing by the way. I'm just like giving you a number. Like,
Give me
Indians,
a flex.
Indians are the richest minority in the country.
Yeah. I just believe in numbers and reality, and
So
there's something to be said for that.
yeah, but you asked like what breaks the cycle. It's like, you know, like that guy who's gambling at like midday noon. I'm not saying that he's a gone case and he couldn't be done anything, but we have to treat him like what he is. Who can be helped is a kid who's growing up in that environment and doesn't have a school to go to or is like missing out of school.
No after school programs, not eating good food.
Or no dad in the house. Like, those are the kind of people you should focus on.
Taking the manipulation from the marketing machine with the drink that looks healthy, but it's just a sugar bomb.
There's so many of those, pisses me off.
Which
so
is
much.
like borderline criminal.
I am a FFK, which means a farmer fat kid. And
you are an FFK?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I'm a FFK.
How'd you get ripped?
I just played sports and I got bullied pretty hard in school.
That I wouldn't expect to see in DC.
Oh, this? Oh, yeah.
Is that a syringe in there? Or should I get?
You asked me, like, what's the left and right solution to this? The left solution is if we want to fix black neighborhoods, or neighborhoods which aren't catered to, let's put more black people in positions of power, right? The flaw in that argument is that the problem isn't race, the problem is class, right? Those black people who we are putting in positions of power, they went to Harvard, they went to Connecticut. They don't have anyone who's from Anacostia in their circle. So why would they empathize with them? And so that's the left's problem. And the right's problem is they lean too much on meritocracy. The right would love to put someone like me in a showcase and be like, if this immigrant can do this in America, you, the black guy who is killing himself in Anacostia, you can pick yourself up the bootstrap and fix yourself. Not realizing they have gone through years and generations of, I don't know, Jim Crow, redlining. That's not easy
Yeah, but
to lose.
Jim Crow and redlining don't exist now.
They don't exist now, 100%, they don't. And America is, I would say, probably like a dangerous thing to say. Racism existed everywhere when racism was the thing. Slavery existed
I heard
everywhere.
in India you have no racism. The Muslims and Hindus are
we all love
just
each other.
kumbaya together.
Yeah. No, racism existed everywhere when racism was a thing. So did slavery. The US is the only country which risked a civil war to get rid of it, right? That doesn't get said that much often. So if you're not white and you want to succeed from ground up, like this is the place to do it. And that doesn't get said often. I'm not saying that makes life easier for them, by the way, because they probably think that the system is still putting boots down their throat. And maybe it is. I don't know what it's like to be them. But I'm just giving you the other side of the argument. The argument here is like, oh, all they need is like modern amenities. So I'm just saying, like, if you put a Harvard or a Yale in there, it's not going to fix the problem. Because they don't have, like, their kids growing up without dads in their house. They don't really give a shit about college. They care about getting $50 so that they can buy dinner tonight. Welcome to Navy Yards. Navy Yard is basically where all the young folks who are living and working in the media government space.
Okay.
You see all these buildings.
Yep.
We call them like hashtag gentrification buildings. Because these, like, Navy Yard used to be a community like Anacostia back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. City is divided into like 4 quadrants. And this is still the southeast quadrant. And so is Anacostia. And the southeast quadrant is notorious for carjackings, homicides, and all sorts of stuff.
Here?
Here, right here. And you see
Come
this
on.
neighborhood? This neighborhood was subject to ton of carjackings during and after COVID. Murders usually happen there, but like carjacking happens here. You know why? Because here, compared to Anacostia, this is where all the expensive cars are. And
Okay.
it's a proper circuit. They come here all the way from Maryland, take the cars, drive it all the way to the harbor, and ship it away. And all the expensive cars are in this neighborhood because this town attracts upwardly mobile people. But at the same time, just because it's in Southeast, cops are not as much present compared to Northwest.
And that's where we're going today at the end, right?
At the
Northwest?
end, yeah, we'll go to
That's the
Northwest.
wealthiest.
Georgetown's the wealthiest. Well, it's still in Northwest, but like Capital is where all the attention goes to because of the
Okay.
federal buildings. And
But Georgetown is like nice hotels, nice restaurants,
yeah, the
expensive real
nicest,
estate.
the most expensive real estate
Okay,
in DC. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, this is all new.
None of this existed 10 years ago. But like this, and Anacostia is just divided by a singular body of water. And you can see the Capitol right there.
Oh, yeah?
Just along that.
Oh, yeah. So this is mostly public money filtering down?
What is
Or-
public money filtering down? I mean, there's a lot of like new development money coming in for sure.
No, public money as in the people's jobs.
Yeah.
They're working in government.
Yeah.
I call that public money.
Okay, yeah, like, so like
Taxpayer
technically, yeah,
money.
So taxpayer money. So like the people who work
Versus-
for the government,
Yep.
the contractors, young, like people in media. Look around, like all the people who are around us are all like people of my age,
Yep.
right? They're all living here because all the rents here, like, I don't know, like 1,500 to 2,500 or 3,000 in that range. And with the government money or like the media money, which pays you in the early 6 figures, that's where you want to live. This feels like a grown-up college campus.
Right, okay, so go through university, get your job in
Get your
government,
master's degree and come
get your
here, yeah.
master's, government, live here.
Yeah, basically, that's the dream. If you want to like actually move as a young professional in DC, that's where most people start.
Gotcha. And it's vibrant at night, restaurants, nightclubs,
Totally,
that sort
yeah.
of thing.
This place gets litty at night.
Liddy.
Yeah. Look at this place.
It's on
Fucking
fire, wow.
Such a beautiful city. I love this city. People always talk about how like cities are dying. People want to live American cities and all that stuff. Crime and all
Right,
this
right.
stuff, which I can talk about forever. I work
Yeah.
in the news for crying out loud. But if you look around, like this is what it's supposed to be.
It's thriving. I'm
This
really
is-
happy to see this.
Like, if you wanna talk about what COVID took away from us for a couple of years and we all became crazy and lost something, this is what we lost. Go in there, this is what it's supposed to be. Just normal people watching sports, having fun, getting a beer.
Right, everyone's having a good time, good vibes here.
Yeah, and these are all DC people, so if I can ask them about their political opinion, they all have something, but they're all enjoying their time right
Right.
now.
Yeah, how you doing?
I just watched your.
How you doing?
Good.
What'd you watch?
I just watched your Living in Mexico citywide.
Oh, wow.
That one
Are you
was
moving?
really
Are you
cool.
moving?
No, we live here in DC, in
Okay,
Noma.
tell us about it. What's going on in Noma?
Oh, in Noma, there's so much growth happening. I mean, I just bought a condo there 2 years ago, and the time we've been there, we've had Bryant Street.
Yeah.
That area, we have like a pickleball. We
Pickleball
have
is in DC now,
Metro
yeah.
Bar. They took a actual metro car and converted it into a bar that you can like have drinks in.
Okay.
Super really fun.
So you work around here, or?
Yeah, I work in the city right next to Union Station.
Okay.
Really fun. Everything's walkable. I bike to work 9 minutes.
So you love it here?
I love it here. It's great.
Okay, you're happy.
Yeah.
This is really sweet. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
That's Anacostia over there. Okay.
We just came from Anacostia.
Okay.
We're
So,
showing all sides
Oh,
of
I was
DC.
just doing a cleanup there like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
What were you doing?
Oh, with Accenture, with my job, we just do community service every once in a blue moon. So we're just doing like picking up trash just across the Anacostia right over there. Literally right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
It's two different worlds, huh?
Very much so. Yeah, absolutely. I live on this side.
On this side.
I've accidentally at night gone on the metro and gone one stop too far and was scared to get off and had to turn around some point, but that was a bit nerve-wracking. So yeah, you do feel it immediately.
Like this,
for
yeah.
Sure. Yeah, but you're gonna go to Capitol next?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Capital and then
That's another
Georgetown.
world.
Oh,
Yeah.
so fun.
So the person who we just met, that's a peak example.
Mia.
Yeah. She's technically a transplant. She's moved here straight from the West Coast. She works in the city.
Yep.
She pays her taxes. She
Yep.
lives in this nice neighborhood.
Yep.
She's enjoying this beautiful weather and this restaurant right here.
Cool woman.
Cool woman, perfectly nice people. By the way, the people in Anacostia are also perfectly nice people, but that just shows the difference. By the way, she also knows the quote-unquote privilege or whatever you're gonna call it, and she tries to do community service on that side of the water.
Yeah.
There's no one to villainize in this story.
No, not at all.
Except for like time.
This is a story like many of my stories. At the end, you have more questions than answers.
Yeah, and that's the best kind of stories.
And you think about it days after, and there is no
Solution.
easy fix, easy understanding.
All like the thing is like the US, America, and different classes of people are beautiful. But what lacks is exposure. People who live here, and oftentimes all these people who moved here from, I don't know, Wisconsin, let's say, they don't even know that Anacostia exists.
Yep.
Like I've worked in news for the last 7 years. The biggest thing which I focus is not this side or that side, is exposure. I want to expose, these kind of people to the fact that Anacostia exists, and I want to expose people in Anacostia to the fact that all these people who are gentrifying Washington, D.C. are not coming here to move you out of your neighborhood or stuff like that. They're literally playing their own game.
Right. And the beauty in U.S. cities and places like Anacostia, the economy is right here.
Yeah,
literally
it's right
a half
here.
mile
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Unlike Appalachia,
Correct.
in the middle of the countryside,
They don't even know what being out of that community would look like.
50 miles gets them nowhere to no job.
Yeah.
Other than coal mining.
The good thing about being in Anacostia is there's something to aspire to, which is right there in your eyesight, right? And that is important for a lot of communities and young people who are brought up in these communities, the exposure to the fact that a new world exists.
The exposure and the understanding that that bridge can be crossed.
Literally, that bridge can be crossed. Yeah.
This is the mall, right?
Yeah. DC tourism.
And we're meeting up with your friend who works on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
This is beautiful, you guys.
Yeah, this is about as American as it gets through and through. A giant phallus in the middle of the city. That's America sometimes,
Yes. And it's the tallest building, right?
Yes, that's right. There's nothing that's allowed to be above 13 stories. That's for security reasons. There are Air Force bases in Maryland, and obviously if there was to be some type of attack or crisis in the city, they want to have rapid response and limit potential hazards with those guys flying in.
I was being a tourist for a second. I've been here for a while now. I miss this place a little bit. You can say whatever you want to say about DC, but look at this.
I mean, it is great. There's a reason most cities in the country aren't set up like this. It's not a great use of space, but it is beautiful. And there aren't any other cities really.
Just so I can note about architecture a little bit, this whole thing was designed by a French dude.
That's right. It was modeled after Paris.
This whole strip, it's called a mall. It was modeled after Paris by this dude called Lafont. And the whole city is built in gridlocks, and they're diagonal roads crossing the gridlocks. And those roads are named after 50 US states. the point being, there's a lot of thought behind doing all of this.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that, this doesn't happen anymore. And we don't build shit like this anymore.
Right. It's not profitable to build
Yeah.
a city like this.
Not at all.
So at the end here,
Yes,
we have the nerve center of power.
that's right.
They're not thinking about Anacostia.
Not at all.
So much.
Not at all. Everyone in that building represents either a state if you're on the Senate side, or a district, county if you're on the House side. When it comes to DC, our member does not have voting power. So any legislation that comes up to the floor largely isn't catered to help the people of this city. The other problem is DC is not a state. We're a city.
Yeah.
We have a mayor, but there isn't extra oversight from a larger body who can come in and say, this is how we help this group. It's a small, limited city government, and there's really only so much they can do, even though we are in the middle of arguably the most important city in the country.
It's a beautiful city.
Yeah. If a tourist comes here, they wouldn't realize that DC is having so many problems. It's actually a conscious move on the city's end. If you look around,
That's right.
there are police cars everywhere. There's so much security here because they realize that this is the place which needs to look good because this is,
If you don't have this looking good, you're a total failure.
basically that.
It is sort of the North Korean tour right here.
Kind of, yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah, this is the iconic shot right here.
I guess a lot of the country might have a different view of those steps because that is where January 6th happened. And now, again, we talk about DC like it's a war zone. And I do want to stress that, crime is up, and this is a problem that the city is starting to come to terms with. But it's not like, and Peter, you've traveled a lot more than I have. It's not like you're, in the middle of Syria.
Yeah,
right.
It's not a green zone.
It's Washington D.C. It's the nation's capital. Again, it's arguably the most.
It's putting it into context, and I think that gets left out a lot of times.
Yeah.
Compared to where? Compared to a lot of European cities, yeah, this is dangerous. Compared to Latin American cities, well, it's
Not so much.
But I think the number takes the label for the whole city. But really, it's all about different areas of the city.
Right.
The risk factors adjust to whatever area you're in.
Exactly.
Christian, we forgot to get on camera your title. What are you doing exactly?
Oh, I am a White House correspondent for the Washington Examiner. It's a national magazine. We're headquartered here in D.C., and we cover Congress, the White House, Supreme Court, all the federal agencies, and we do state and national coverage too as it pops up.
Right. And you wanted to bring Christian into this because obviously he has
I'm always
hand on the...
Because I'm a mentor figure for this.
he actually was.
No, that's a lie.
No,
That's a lie.
I'll answer you why I wanted to bring Datac, but to give Datac all the credit in the world, when I moved to DC, one of the first people who actually believed in me was Datac, and he, funny enough, hired me to edit his podcast, and he paid me in Chipotle bowls.
And because that's what he asked for.
Wait,
we were going to give
with
him real
guac
money.
or without?
Whatever he wanted, double meat.
Because guac is extra.
Guac is always extra.
I know, but so besides that's the that's the tangent reason, but the actual reason I like Datac is because journalism and politicians, the biggest disqualifying factor for you to be in your job should be the fact that you want to be one, right? Okay. And Datac happened upon this career because he was a bartender, and he's a sports guy through and through, and he was hired by this editor who he just started talking to at the bar, and
trying to get a good tip.
Yeah, and long story long, he now has this insane clutch career. So that's why I'm attracted towards people like Datac, who used to have normal people jobs, and now because of their fascination and just being a nerd about the politics in general, they have this job.
Are you a normie or an elitist?
Yes.
Datac.
As he wears his sunglasses.
I'd like to think of myself as a normal person.
But he has the hair of an elitist.
It's elite hair, I'm not going to lie, yeah. But a lot of people here in D.C., I think unfortunately, do sort of look down their nose at, people across the country. It might not be intentionally, but there's a sense of
I know better.
Well, it's not even that. It's just we're in this cool place.
Yeah.
Therefore, I am better because I made it here.
It's a big club, and you just
ain't
in it.
That's just not true.
Yeah.
The people working here, many of them just don't understand the people out there. Why do you think that's the case?
I think partially that is the case because it's true. And I think the other part of it is because of how politics has turned into a horse race, sports type environment where we care more about who's winning than what is actually being accomplished. And I think that's true of both parties.
Okay, so for example, I was out in Maui a couple weeks ago, did a video on Lahaina fires. Now, Hawaii, the state of Hawaii is pretty slow and corrupt, but also it is a federal issue at the same time. FEMA's there. 8 months later, place is in rubble. Yeah, it's a tough one, right? It's not an easy cleanup, but if it was a priority, it would be much further along. And so a lot of people there are just like, why do I even pay taxes to here if they don't pay any attention to my concerns and take any part of the country? A lot of people feel that way right now.
I think that is a valid way to be feeling because to a sense, there is a sense of abandonment, right?
Sure.
And part of the problem with that is that our nation is dealing with basically a full-on shitstorm for what seemed like, 6 to 8 years nonstop. And like since the Lahaina fires, we've had the Baltimore Bridge collapse. And that's a lot closer to home for these people.
Right.
And that's sucking up a lot of the oxygen. I'm not saying that's right or good or bad, but I think that's the unfortunate reality that
But people in the country, like in Lahaina, they're seeing money go overseas. It seems
to
from
Ukraine, to Israel.
From afar, like very easily in high numbers, and everyone's giving attention to that, yet their situation gets no attention. At least it's perceived that way. So I think because of my work, I'm talking to all sorts of people. That frustration is building, I would say, across the country.
I don't even think it's building. I think it's bubbling over.
There you go, bubbling. The top's off the pot.
We're coming to a boiling point, and that's something that I think most of the powers that be in Washington either don't recognize or aren't willing to come to grips with.
One of the biggest things which I've noticed living in DC is that topics which get covered are usually zero-sum in nature. If you're talking about sending money to Israel or Ukraine, chances are you're not talking about the Baltimore Bridge collapsing or the fires in Maui anymore. And people realize that in real time. They just saw that, oh my God, my whole city was in fire, this bridge collapsed right next to me, and the news media and the government itself, they stopped talking about me literally 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
And that is a telltale sign that people aren't stupid. When people see money going overseas, Israel, Ukraine, be that any other country, what does that signify to a local Hawaii guy who saw his house burn out into flames? That just signifies that the fact that I'm American means less to me now than it did before.
Than ever.
And that's coming from an immigrant.
Right, but I think that's a popular sentiment these days. Being American has less power or weight, cachet than ever before in the history of the country.
Correct. Do you agree with that?
I mean, I don't disagree with it.
Yeah.
I think money plays into it, and money makes the world go around, right? Like we're talking about funds going to Hawaii, money being allocated here in DC to build out the police force in a way that can tackle crime in a non-racist manner, right? Like money is the root of all these problems. And as an everyday American, just like a Joe Schmo working his job, and he's worried about, I don't think I can afford the American dream anymore.
Yeah.
To have a house, raise kids, whatever.
Insurance went up 20% or whatever.
Yeah, what pride do you have in being American at that point?
A lot of people have a lot of pride, actually. I've noticed in the so-called heartland or the deep south, they have a lot of disdain towards the government, but very much love their nationality, their culture, the community they live in.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think America should be bigger than whoever's in charge of that building.
Oh yeah,
or whoever's
for sure.
in charge of that
for
building.
Sure.
And
a lot of people just leave me alone. Like tax me less
Sure.
and leave me alone. I don't need.
That's a pure libertarian ethos.
Yeah,
right?
you get that more in Wyoming and.
I think you're getting that more here these days too.
Okay.
And maybe that's just a national moment that's building everywhere.
Yep.
Or maybe it's because, like we were just talking about with the media moving on, covering things that A, are sexier, even if they're deadly and horrible for other people.
Yeah.
Or B, don't look at an event as a failure of the government, like as a failure of us collectively as a nation talking about these issues.
Yeah.
Like that matters.
Maybe we're at a low point and everything goes in a cycle.
Yeah.
I do think, I don't think I know, there's less divide in the country than we're led to believe. Most people are cool.
Yeah.
Most people are cool, and they don't really, a lot of people aren't involved in politics at all.
No.
They're really not. They're busy with their lives.
The funniest thing about these clothing stalls are like these are run by immigrants and they sell shirts of like all political parties. So he's selling MAGA shirts, Hillary shirts, USA shirts.
He doesn't care.
It's a funny shit. He's just here to make a buck. And that's the most American thing you can do. Play both sides.
All these departments hire a lot of people, huh? I mean, they're massive buildings.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, that is like the system, right?
Right?
And one of the things which like people always get shocked about, it's like, oh, DC never changes. Oh, our politics never changes. You don't realize that this system was built for gridlock.
Yeah, of
Gridlock
course.
is a feature, not a flaw of the system.
Here's a little flaw in the system.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
Tent City. It's actually the cleanest tent city I've ever seen.
Ever, yeah.
This is Georgetown.
You're getting in Georgetown now.
So it's a part of DC or it's a separate
it's
city?
part of DC. It's 100% part of DC.
Totally different vibe up here.
Yeah.
Take care. Beautiful buildings.
All right. As you go further up, you'll see the most expensive zip codes in terms of real estate in probably arguably in the entire Northeast. And it's all in the same city, which is funny.
Oh, look at this. It's lively. It's your buddy?
Look at this outfit right here.
Richard, we
How you doing?
How
Nice
you
to
doing?
meet you.
We had to stop and get a fly jacket.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
it's a fly jacket and a fly microphone and some fly shades.
Richie was the guy who first gave me my job when I left London, and he had every reason not to.
Well, his
give me
resume looked like a five-star menu. Literally, like, we got his resume. The editor-in-chief literally sends me an email. He's like, "Who the hell is this guy?" So we called him up, and he came over to the United States on a student visa. So we weren't allowed to pay him for a year.
Oh.
So I paid him in like basically
Burrito bowls?
Huh?
Chipotle?
Free couch sleeps and Chipotle bowls. Literally. That was
But
it.
that was
For a
one of the
year.
reasons I could leave Anacostia, because I didn't have a place to sleep, and eventually I did, and we became roommates too. We lived
Yeah.
right
I
over there.
had the unfortunate circumstance of being roommates with this guy.
All right, so dive us into this place.
Yeah, so
This is a
like-
different DC than
This is the
Anacostia.
hub right here of West Georgetown. We've got Wisconsin Avenue right here, which goes all the way up into Maryland. With application to the book, it's changed a lot in the 15 years that I've been here, that's for sure. Georgetown has always been kind of like a nicer area, but the rest of DC, like where I'm at over by Capitol Hill, has completely changed in 15 years. I mean, it's the rent's, tenfold what it used to be.
Tenfold?
He was
Yeah,
in Navy Yard
literally,
now,
dude.
which we
Navy Yard, Navy Yard, you didn't even have any buildings when I moved here. So, if you go down there, got to be careful, but not anymore.
Okay, what
Well,
about
gross.
over the river?
The only times, to be honest, I've been to Anacostia was to cover like police shootings and stuff like that. There's a lot of carjackings and stuff in places like Georgetown, but Anacostia, that's where all the real violence happens. The question is like, how have places like Anacostia been improved by all of the development that's been going on as a byproduct of the, expansion of the federal government? And I mean, there's speed cameras and they yield $3 million a year here just in parking tickets alone.
Okay.
So there's money in the city, but the question is why do we have almost 1,000 carjackings last year? They spent millions of dollars to preserve the trolley tracks here, which have no trolley on them.
So this driver in the tinted out SUV right here,
Yeah.
that looked like straight out of Kyiv, Ukraine when I lived there. Like driving around the mafiosa.
Yeah.
What is that energy? What's going on with
Well,
that? High-ranking politicians.
Definitely high-ranking politicians. Georgetown, also the university. I know because I went from 2008 to 2012. There's a lot of international students with a lot of money, and especially like from the Middle East. So there's a lot of, Saudis, Qataris, people from Bahrain, Egypt, all over the Middle East. There's a lot of wealthy Arabs who come to study at Georgetown.
How much is this place right here? What are one of these places?
Probably $3 million, something like that.
$3 million for what?
$3 million for one of those little 3 bedrooms.
2,000 square feet?
Yeah, a little more than that, but yeah, something like that. Yeah, 2,500.
Okay, how about this white one here?
Oh, dude, yeah, it's 4 or something. Sognick and I lived in in a big mansion in Foxhall, and it was $7,000. Now it's $11,000. They just put it back on.
$7,000 rent.
$7,000.
Yeah.
Ouch. $7,000 a month.
How many people were
Same
living
for 10
there?
years. It was 7 when I moved in 2014, and we got down to 5.
It's a giant mansion. It's like a frat house for like grown-up people with jobs.
Okay.
But what you're looking at is like peak elite DC. When Lafont, the French guy who was designing the city, was drawing up the whole map of the town, he purposefully kept this area secluded from the rest of the city's map because he didn't want the quote-unquote riffraffs getting here, and that's why you will see no metro stops coming here.
So like we're all for diversity and equality, but we don't want people from Anacostia coming here.
It's about like being secluded in this elite part of the city where only you and the rest of your colleagues would live.
When my dad was here at school, he had Kissinger lived right over here. Henry Kissinger.
Wow. In one of these places?
Yeah, actually literally right back there. And so he'd walk by, there'd be a Secret Service detail. John Kerry used to live down here. I built a half pipe in my backyard when I was we'll walk past the hockey house. We'll walk past the old hockey house. But I built a half pipe, and Madeleine Albright was my neighbor. And so the university brought me in and they said, you got to take down this half pipe. And
Madeleine isn't into ramps?
No, she's not. And actually her assistant came over. She said, you can't build a skate park in Georgetown. I said, ma'am, this is a skate ramp. But so they tried to get me to take the ramp down, but I was off campus. I said, point to me the law that says I can't have a half pipe in my backyard, and I will gladly take it down. Needless to say, they removed it immediately after I graduated, but yeah.
But you kept it up for your time
I kept it up for my time there, yeah. Oh yeah, all the way to graduation.
Oh wow. This is a special neighborhood though.
What do you think? Like we started with Anacostia and now in Georgetown. What do you think as an outsider?
Tale of two cities, obviously. I bet if you broke down, who's gonna help you more? This hood or that hood?
Help you in terms of what?
Hey, I need some help. I got a flat tire.
Oh yeah, I would definitely go with Anacostia.
Anacostia, the people will help you there, right?
Yeah, because they know what it's like to be not helped out.
To have a flat tire.
Right.
Yeah. Can't call Jeeves to fix your tire.
Okay, here are the rail lines you're talking about. Yep.
See that?
Why keep the trolleys? Just for the look?
Feel the historic, yeah. So basically now, they preserved them. The project a couple years ago cost millions of dollars to keep the cobblestone and the trolleys because they could have just paved over it. But speaking of history, this house is where my brother lived. And in 2008, I was a freshman. And for Obama's inauguration, I had all my friends come stay with me, partied here. And then we thought I had a genius idea. We would go straight from here to the inauguration, get there, get the best possible spot. We got there at like 3 a.m. I vaguely remember I had a giant Grey Goose bottle that I had mixed with beer. So that lets you know how smart I was back then. And by like 9 a.m., lost my friends, lost no cell service, no nothing. I just started going against a million people coming onto the mall. And it took me 3 hours. I got back here and I passed out right when Obama was putting his hand on the Bible. So that was my inauguration experience. And, look at these
details.
How rich you gotta be to have those planter stuff.
Right. It is beautiful here. Yeah. What a neighborhood.
And it's crazy how quiet it is here compared to, the big arteries are just a couple blocks away.
You know what the sound of gentrification is?
Yeah.
Silence.
Birds chirping.
Yeah, it's silence.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it.
Well, the thing is Georgetown has always been gentrified.
That's the whole point. Yeah. Georgetown from the get-go was supposed to be this.
And it's held on.
It's held on.
Nothing is rocking this boat, fair to say.
Well, in 2020,
let's get into that.
Some riots.
Up here?
Yeah, we saw looting. So, there has been civil like the 1968 riots after Martin Luther King was shot.
Yep.
The riots didn't make it up here, but in 1971, there was a forgotten day in DC protest history, which is it's called May Day. A lot of the modern protest tactics that we see now, where you shut down traffic to basically like, oh, if the government's not going to stop the Vietnam War, we're going to stop the government by stopping people from going to work.
Sure.
So it was the biggest mass arrest in American history. It was like 7,000 or 8,000 people on that Monday. And actually, both my parents were attending Georgetown, and my dad got arrested that day. He said he was luckily like wearing a blazer, and he just walked backwards out of the station. And so he didn't get booked because he looked enough like a cop to just sneak out. But then my mom was on the nursing school. She took care of kids who got tear gassed on the campus right up here.
So
there's been unrest.
In more recent times, you say 2020, there was unrest up here.
Yep, we lived pretty close. So they looted the Sunglass Hut and a bunch of the Polo. There's a bunch of nice stores down on M Street.
But a guy like this, he's just chilling and reading.
That's the fat cat right there, ready to drop a drone.
Okay,
bomb
but up around here, some of the businesses were looted, but none of these residential places, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
It's as far as like that kind of crime, break-ins and stuff. It definitely happens. This is where all the students live right here.
Okay.
So
the students live here?
yes. Well, it's funny because they reduced the off-campus population. I'll show you the hockey house real quick.
Georgetown, the college,
It looks way better than it used to. This is where I used to live for 2 years. There's also a carriage house in the back where literally the slaves used to live, and the slaves lived upstairs and the horses lived down below. There's a cobblestone in the backyard there, and there's literally like a horse trough for the old horses.
We're coming up on Georgetown University. Is that what this is?
Yeah, that's Healy Hall is the main building right there.
Wow. What's tuition like here?
So now I actually know someone, when I was going there in 2008, it was like 60, 55. Now it's 100 grand. 100 grand, dude.
In 2008 it was 65. Oh my God.
This woman I know sent 3 daughters here recently for 100 grand a year each.
Is it super hard to get in here?
Probably it is. I had a very specific, I wanted to study Arabic and Middle Eastern history.
No way.
So that's what I studied in school. Although I only really use it in Ubers now, but because
Mishmishkilla.
Yeah, mishmishkilla, exactly.
Yeah,
mishmishkilla. That's all you need to know, dude.
Slang.
Mishmishkilla, habibi.
They love it, habibi.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, basha.
Yeah, you got it. Or I don't want to tell you the swear words because swearing in Arabic is really bad.
Oh yeah. All right, the front gates to Georgetown.
Yep.
Are we allowed to go in or no?
Yeah. You can. Getting to graduation time.
Oh wow.
You smell the beer right
Yep. Takes me back.
What a beautiful building.
It is. That's Healy Hall. It's built in like the late 1800s. And that's all classrooms in there.
You can drink on campus here, huh?
They encourage it on campus so that you don't do it off campus. Well, because they don't want the residents to get mad off campus, so they let you do it here. This is a conservative Catholic institution right here for you.
That's your favorite brand.
Yeah. Georgetown fell victim to a lot of like Catholic institutions endorsed this kind of like
brutalism?
Neo-modern brutalism. Yeah, it's like the dorm where I lived is where Bill Clinton lived too. It's called Harbin Hall. And you can look up a photo, it's a little farther that way. It looks like if a jukebox and a bar refrigerator had a baby, that's what it looks like.
This reminds me of Eastern Europe.
It really does.
Yeah, I love the brutalism.
Well, I didn't spend much time in this library, that's for sure.
Not your typical DC tour.
During COVID, when we used to live here, there was nowhere else to work out because they closed all the gyms. So this was the only place we could get a proper workout.
And the gas station, so it gets all beat up right out.
Yeah, that used to be. It's closed now.
It used to be the spot to get your tobacco late at night. But...
Okay, what's this across the river?
That's Arlington.
Well, my parents were here in the 70s. The biggest building was like 5 stories. I mean, look at that. So you got like, see that right there? Can you see what that building says up
Deloitte.
in the top left? Deloitte, yeah.
Yep.
So a lot of like big consulting. There's Nestle, you got Lockheed Martin, you got all those big guys.
So this is the end of DC right here.
Yep. And
Gotcha.
there's a height limit on DC buildings, so a lot of those buildings right there you can't have those in DC.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Homeless.
So even right near the nice areas.
And we're gonna go right past there, so you
can see
plenty of that.
Unfortunately. And then Reagan just pumps these flights in and out, landing right near the downtown, which is nice.
Which the residents of Georgetown do not like, actually. There's a great local news story of them all complaining about the new flight patterns because they go right over their houses.
Where do their jets fly out of?
This used to be the place to smoke the things that used to be illegal in DC.
Here we go.
This is the most dangerous thing you'll go out there.
Yeah, this is not very Georgetown.
This is new. This is all new.
Why are they gating us off?
They've been trying to keep us out of here for decades, bro.
What's up with that?
That's where we used to skip school at, honestly.
It was just with
Likewise.
the place, yeah.
Definitely skip some classes down here.
What a dynamic city, I gotta say.
It is.
Way more than
It
I
is.
thought.
A lot of history. You didn't even hit the museums yet.
Didn't hit the museums today. The mall I've known of, but everywhere else I didn't know anything about.
Yeah,
Look at it, we got a boat party to finish it up here.
Oh, there we go.
Dude, is that a car?
Holy shit. Florida right there?
Does that guy have a Lotus on the water right there?
He's got his car out there.
Do you want me to
Wow.
zoom in on this so you can stitch it in
Yeah.
as B-roll here?
Guys, is that a car on the water? What's
Yeah, we
that?
got to get a close-up here. Does not look seaworthy, whatever it is.
Imagine if he has a lease on it and has to return it.
Yeah.
It's like there's some water damage.
Is there
I
any
don't know what
water
happened.
damage?
Thank you, brother.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that. Rich, great meeting you.
Great meeting you.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Also, I want to mention to the audience, Sagnik has a channel, does great interviews. He actually did an interview of me. It was a great interview. I liked it.
It was one of the first interviews which I did, and I think folks really liked it because people don't see you just sit down and talk and give your opinions on stuff. So
I really appreciated that because you had great questions. I don't do many of them. I will leave that down below in the link here. That's where Sagnik's channel is. Check it out. He does a great job interviewing people from all different backgrounds. All right, guys, thanks for coming on that journey. Until the next one.